Hello again, everyone. I'm Mark Walmsley, and I'm the founder of the Arts and Culture Network. We're a growing global community of over 185,000 now across our 8 arts and culture LinkedIn groups. I don't get to meet everybody, as you can imagine, so when I do, it's a great pleasure. And Victoria Nwankpa has joined me today for our interview. Victoria is one of our new full members, and we're going to have some fun today. I'm going to create Victoria's fantasy cultural year from the answers to some easy questions to which there are no wrong answers. And so her introduction will give me inspiration for that. Victoria, thank you so much for joining me to do this today and for being one of our full members. For the benefit of those who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, I wonder if you'd be kind enough to tell us a little bit about you, where you're based, what your plans are, the work you want to be
Okay.
doing, and then we'll do your fantasy cultural year based on that. All yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Victoria Nwankpa, and I am a fiction writer. I have been writing for the past 6 years, and I write mostly romance books, fantasy, paranormal books. I love writing, and it's something I do as a job because I write daily and I work from home. So currently, I want to associate myself. I'm currently in Nigeria. I'm based in Nigeria, but I have plans to relocate to the UK before the end of 2026. So I want to build my connection with UK writers and UK creatives. I want to, get to know you all better, get to know especially writers and people in the writing field better before I relocate. So I'm so glad that I'm able to be a part of Art Culture Network, and I'm so happy. Thank you, Mark, for this opportunity. It's a pleasure, and I'm very excited to be here.
It's my pleasure. As you know, we're entirely member funded as a community, so it's very much appreciated. So thank you very much. Excellent. That's great. So wherever this appears, there'll be links to you. And but what we're going to do now is
Okay.
create your fantasy cultural year. Now, the answers are entirely up to you. You can do whatever you want, but we're going to travel the world. Okay. I'll explain how that
Okay.
works in a minute, but it'll be inspired by your fiction writing. Okay. So
Oh, okay.
the first question I've got for you, I need to place you somewhere in the world. Okay. So the
Okay.
first question is, what's your favorite building?
I'll say it's the Eiffel Tower. Yes, the Eiffel
Excellent.
Tower.
That's a great place to start.
Yeah.
The Eiffel
Yeah.
Tower in Paris. Now, I'd like you to imagine that
Yes.
you are sitting at a cafe in sight of the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
It's 6 p.m.
Okay.
June evening. It's lovely and warm and sunny.
Okay.
You're sitting at a table in the sunshine, and on the table next to you is a drink. It can be any drink you want. What would you choose?
Okay. Well, I will go for a Fanta. I love
Fanta,
Fanta.
orange,
Right? I don't take alcohol, so yeah, orange Fanta. So that will be best.
perfect.
Yeah,
Orange
that
Fanta
will be
sitting in
best.
front of the Eiffel Tower. Now, there is a book
Yeah.
on the table next to you.
Okay.
It can be
Okay.
any book. It could be your favorite book. It could be a recent discovery, or it could be a book that's been with you all your life. What book would we find there
Okay.
on the table, Victoria?
Well, it will be my recent published book, titled The Art of Forgetting You. Yes, so I would love to have that with me while being
Is
there.
it available already?
Yes, it is. It is available, yes,
Is
in
it?
both printout and in on Amazon. Yeah, digital
What's it
copies
called
too.
again?
The Art of Forgetting You, Art of Forgetting You. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can find it. Hold on.
Okay.
The Art of Forgetting You. Let's have a look. It's just coming, I think. And I'm going to share
Okay.
the page with everyone. Here we go. You're a published writer. How exciting. There we go. I'm going to share
Mm.
my screen. There we go. There it is.
Okay.
The Art of Forgetting You by
Yes.
Victoria Nwankpa, published on the 26th of February.
Yes.
Fantastic. So if we click through, we can read a little bit. In Lagos, where
Yes.
love burns as fiercely as secrets, artist Ezine Okoro believes she
Okay.
has finally found love in Tega Idu, a charming architect who claims to have left his wealthy life behind. I'm not going to read it all because that would be a bit of a spoiler, but that looks great. I love the cover.
Okay.
Love the cover. So it's a romance,
Uh,
is it?
Thank you.
Is it? It's
Yes,
a
it's a romance. It's a
fantastic.
romance.
We'll make sure that
Yes.
this is included in your profile when we publish it. So that's great. Now,
Wow, I like that. Thank you very much.
that's great. So you've got your book, you've got Fanta Orange, and you've got the Eiffel
Yeah.
Tower. I want you to
Yeah.
imagine that you've got some headphones on, okay? And you're listening to some music.
Okay.
What would you be listening to?
It should be a country music. A country music.
Nice.
I love country music. Yes.
I'm a big
So
fan
if
as well.
not a country music, maybe R&B, but any of the two.
Excellent. Let's
Yes.
go with country because I think that would be great.
Yeah, country.
Excellent. So there we have it. Those are
Okay.
the four things that make so Eiffel Tower, Fanta Orange, your own book, and some country music. Beautiful.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
you're feeling quite pleased with yourself because you've just come from a meeting in Paris with a wealthy
Yes.
with a wealthy French family foundation. They have got wind of your
Okay.
fiction writing and your romance. You're focused on
Okay.
romance in unusual
All right.
places around the world. They would like to hire you for a year. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
They would like you to travel around the world to find stories of romance in different countries
Um,
and
um,
produce a
okay.
box set of 10 novels that they will
All
publish.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
The fee is enormous. They're going to pay you very well to do this. The travel
Okay.
is first class. The accommodation is
Well,
first class. Friends and family
yes.
can visit you during the year when you're traveling.
Okay.
You'll have
Okay.
a personal assistant with you. You will have a TV crew who are
Um,
going to make a TV show out of your trip. There is a book deal in it. They're going to do a box set of 10 novels from different countries. You get to do a TED
okay.
talk when you get back. You get TV interviews, and it's called Love
Mm,
Around the World, Loving Your Way Around the World, or something like
okay.
that. Um,
Okay.
and then, if you want, you can do a global university lecture tour afterwards. Does that sound
Okay.
like fun?
Okay. Yeah, amazing. I would love that.
And the first novel that you
Yes.
publish is a Sunday Times bestseller. So it's
Oh, that's great.
great. And you're up for the Whitbread
Yes.
Prize as well for fiction. So there we go.
Uh,
Um, now,
alright.
all the next step is to send you to the first place. So where do you want to go first? You can fly anywhere in the world to to capture some stories about love that you will turn into romance novels. Where do you want to go first?
Well, I will start with Paris. Um, I will start there.
Okay.
Then I can say the next country will be Finland.
Okay, let's go to Finland. So we've
Then,
done Paris, um,
okay,
the city of love and the city of light. You arrive
yeah,
in Finland. Where are we going to in Finland? What's the capital? Is it Helsinki? I think it is. Yeah.
yeah. I think yes, it is.
Let's just check. I don't want to make any mistakes on this. We'll just check.
Okay,
My geography is not great.
okay,
Yes, it's Helsinki. Excellent. Now we're in Helsinki. Well, no, we're on the plane from Paris to Helsinki,
okay,
and the steward brings
okay.
you a Fanta orange and
Yeah,
and a message from the Family Foundation back in France. They have a musical challenge
okay,
for you. They would like you to
okay,
limit your musical listening to one very specific genre or type of music for 12 months
okay.
to the exclusion
For
of
12
all else.
months.
Now, you chose country,
Okay.
you chose country when you were at the Eiffel Tower, so it doesn't have to be the same, or it could be the same.
Oh,
What would you choose?
okay. I'll go for R&B.
Okay, R&B.
Yeah,
What artists, what
yes.
what artists might be on your playlist?
Um, I have so many. Maybe Beyonce.
Hmm.
I don't know if she's yeah, I really love Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and there's a Mariah Carey. Yeah, I
Yeah,
will go for that too.
that's a
So
great
yeah,
choice.
there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now you arrive in Helsinki, and a group of
Okay.
young writers welcome you to the country, and they whisk you into the center of the city. You've got a beautiful loft apartment overlooking the city, and they tell you they've asked you to unpack and relax and make yourself at home, and they're
Yeah.
going to come back and take you to a dance performance followed by dinner. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is where the magic
Okay.
wand and the time machine comes in, because you don't have to remain in Finnish culture. You can have any dance performance in front of you on the stage. It can be any group,
Okay.
any dance style, any dancers, living or not. If I could put any dance-based performance on the stage in front of you, what would you like to watch?
I'll go for a salsa dance. That
Oh, yes.
yes.
Well, it just so
I love
happens
that.
I love it as well. I was dancing with my wife on Saturday. It was her birthday. We were doing
Oh,
salsa.
that's beautiful.
Um, and it just so happens that the World Championships for salsa dancing are
Okay.
in Helsinki. Okay, so
Wow.
we
Wow.
get to go.
Okay.
Now, your new
Okay.
writer
Oh,
friends have said they'd like to take you out to dinner. What nationality cuisine what restaurant would you like to go to in Helsinki?
I will say an Italian restaurant.
Very
Yes, I
nice.
love Italian dishes. Yeah.
Yeah, top Italian. Now we're going to fly again from Helsinki. Anywhere else in the world, where would you
Okay.
like to go?
Um, I would say maybe the United States. It's not bad.
Yeah,
United States, yes.
where should we
Yeah.
go in the States?
California.
California. We could go to Los Angeles or San Francisco,
Okay,
perhaps.
Los Angeles.
Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
okay, Los Angeles is yes, Los Angeles is
You
better.
can do both because they're reasonably close to each other. So now
Okay.
you get to Los Angeles and it's sport day in the United States. Okay.
Okay.
We
Okay.
had breakdancing
Yeah.
in the Olympics. We have synchronized swimming to music. We have gymnastics to music, and we
Mhm.
have ice dancing. So some sport is performance art. What I can put any
Okay.
sporting event in front of you. What would you, and you
Okay.
can take part if you wish. You can either watch or
Okay.
participate. What sport would you like me to
Um,
put in front of you?
okay. That would be tennis. To play
Tennis.
tennis, yes.
Very
Yes.
nice.
I
Now, do
love
you prefer to
tennis.
sit at the net or behind one of the players?
Behind one of the players.
Otherwise, it's like this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, behind the players. Excellent.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Mm.
Now you find love stories all over the United States. And so
Um,
you've made the notes for your third book. So the first book is about Paris, second book is about Helsinki, the third book is
yeah.
about New York. And you're
Yeah.
starting to discover that there are some common themes running, but also that there are significant differences in the love landscape of
Okay.
the world, which is making
Okay. Okay.
your book box set is looking increasingly great. Um, we're going to
Mm.
fly again. Where are we going now from Los Angeles? We've done Los Angeles and San Francisco. You can go anywhere in the world.
Okay. I'll say Mexico.
Mexico, fantastic.
Mexico.
Are we going to Mexico
Yeah.
City? Mexico City,
Yes.
perhaps?
We should.
Yes. Okay. Now, in Mexico City, there is a new art gallery and it's digitally enhanced. You can
Okay.
put on some virtual reality glasses and you can step into the
Okay.
work of a famous artist. So it's not a
Oh,
projection, you're in the picture. Okay. You can walk around, it's
oh,
360 degrees, three-dimensional. There is sound and movement, and you can see in 3 dimensions what the artist could only show us in 2 dimensions. So, which famous artist's
okay.
work would you like to step into?
Um, I will. I don't know his name, but the artist who drew the Mona Lisa painting, I really, really love.
Yeah,
Yes, I really admire that painting, so I feel I would want to go there and towards that. Yes.
fantastic. That's Leonardo da Vinci. And you can,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
you
I'm
can
so sorry.
step into
Yes,
the picture and you can sit next to the Mona Lisa.
yes.
Brilliant. I love that. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
whisk you back to London for a week.
Okay.
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 And you and
Okay.
I are going out together every night of the week to do something cultural. On
Oh,
Monday night, we're going back in time to a rock or pop concert. Tuesday, we're going
okay.
to a theatre play. Wednesday,
All
we're going
right.
to a Broadway or West End musical. Thursday
Okay.
is opera or ballet, and Friday is film night. And between us, we can
Oh,
choose what we watch. Okay. So,
okay.
is there a concert that you attended that you would love to go back in time and enjoy again?
A consent.
Pop or rock concert, yes, or classical.
If it's possible to attend a Michael Jackson concert, I would like that. Yes, I'm a fan of Michael. But I know that's not possible because he's late. But any concerts regarding maybe Chris Brown, Beyonce, Rihanna, any of them
Yeah.
will be good for me. Yes.
Okay.
So
There's a concert on in London, and it's Chris Brown, Beyonce, and Taylor Swift all doing the same show. So
oh, that'll be great.
yeah, that will be good. Now,
Yeah.
are you a theatre fan? Do you go to the theatre? You may not have as much opportunity in Nigeria as you will have when you get to the UK.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah, I
So,
don't really because most of the theater here, you can't compare that to theaters in the UK. So just once in a while I attend and because I'm a writer and most of the time I write novels regarding artists. Like this my recently published book. So I attend once in a while to just, get some information, get ideas and make my book more realistic. So it's just once in a while. Yes.
okay,
It's
I
once in
think
a while
we'll
I
go
attend.
to Shakespeare's Globe Theatre in London
Okay.
or Romeo and
Okay.
Juliet because that's a love story. Okay,
Yeah, that's
Romeo and
good.
Juliet, excellent. What about a West End or Broadway musical? You can go to anything. What would you like
A
to see?
Broadway musical.
Or a West End musical?
Um, maybe Miley Cyrus. Any of our
Miley
Miley
Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think she's done a
Yeah,
musical,
and
hasn't she? Yeah, that's
yes, the Anna Montana
oh,
version
Hannah
of
Montana live on stage. There
yes,
we go.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that would be good. I would love that.
And Thursday
Yeah.
is opera or ballet. Would you prefer opera or ballet?
Opera.
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 I think we'll go to
Yes.
the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden in London, and we'll go and see Carmen by Bizet. That would be great. It's a
Oh, that
lovely
would be
opera.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow, that would be lovely.
And
Yes.
for
Me
film
too.
night, we've got the best seats in the
Okay.
house, huge screen, great sound. You can have any
All
movie you
right.
like. What would you like to watch?
I'm a horror fan. I love horror movies.
I love it.
But if
What
I don't go for horror, I'll just go for something romance
I
or a
think
little bit
horror,
of
I think horror's,
K-drama.
yeah, choose which horror movie shall we watch?
Conjuring.
Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
The
Yes.
Conjuring. Excellent.
Yes.
That's a great choice. You
Yeah.
see, this always pulls out surprises. I love it. Now, I'm
Yeah.
about to send you off to complete your year of travel. Okay.
Okay.
But
Okay.
before I do that, I'm going to give you what we call the hero lunch. So we've booked a top Italian restaurant in London
Okay.
for
Okay.
you and one other person. Okay.
Oh,
It can be
okay.
anyone you like. They will come.
Okay.
It can be
Okay.
someone famous. It could be someone living or not. It could be someone historical, or it could even be a character from a novel. Who would you like to have lunch with? A nice leisurely lunch with?
Can I say my husband?
You
Does it
can.
count?
Well, he's probably going to
Yeah.
watch. That's a good choice because he's probably going to watch this.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep. Yeah.
in a slight twist to this question, who would your husband
Okay.
invite?
I feel he will invite any Liverpool player because he's a Liverpool fan. So I guess
Mo Salah,
I guess
Mo
any of
Salah, Mo Salah.
yeah, I think so. Yes.
I think it's
Anyone,
Mo
as long
Salah.
as the person is a Liverpool player. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great choice. That would be really good. There we go, Victoria. That's your
Uh,
fantasy cultural year. All of those
well,
wonderful things happen. So
yeah.
wherever this appears, we'll be writing a profile about you and your writing work for the website, and we'll embed
Oh,
this interview in it.
okay.
It'll go on YouTube,
Okay.
SoundCloud, and Spotify as well.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll make
Um,
sure everyone in the LinkedIn group gets to see it. So thank you
okay.
so much again for being a good
Thank
sport.
you.
I hope you've enjoyed your
Thank
fantasy
you.
cultural year.
Yes, yes. It was lovely. It was lovely. I really, really enjoyed it.
Fantastic. And thank you again for being one of our full members. Don't rush off, but for the time
Um,
being, Victoria, thank you so much for doing this today.
Oh, I'm grateful. I really, really appreciate you to taking your time to interview me. I really appreciate. Yes.
It's my pleasure.